Straight ahead on UTD TV News, a ruling on the Silk Road case.
And the UTD Honors College officially becomes its own school.
Students weigh in on women in video games following Anita Sarkeesian's visit to campus. All this and more coming up.
Hello and thank you for tuning in to UTD TV News. I'm Anthony Lorienti.
And I'm Susie Kaduri. First up, UTD alumnus Ross Ulbrich has been found guilty of all charges regarding the Silk Road case.
After a 3-week trial, Ulbrich was convicted on charges of drug trafficking to conspiracy. The prosecution used evidence from Ulbrich's personal journal and chat logs to build their case.
Tuesday, February 10th, 3 Muslim American students at Chapel Hill, North Carolina were shot in the head execution style. The shooters facing murder charges, but some people are wondering if it wasn't also a hate crime. Candlelight vigils are being held all over the country to pray for the victims and for social justice in the case. Thursday night, more than 100 UTD students gathered on the plinth for a campus-wide vigil to remember the students. Family friends of the victims remembered their loved ones as they told stories of who they were and the memories they left behind.
Senator Brian Birdwell proposed Senate Bill 11 that would allow concealed handgun holders over 21 to carry their weapons on public campuses. The first public hearing for the bill took place on Thursday. However, Admiral William McRaven, Chancellor for the UT system, sent a letter to the governor opposing the bill, saying it would make campuses less safe.
Thursday afternoon, students received an email from UTD PD about a sexual assault case that occurred near UTD on Synergy Park Boulevard. She told Richardson PD that she was sexually assaulted in the restroom. The police have no leads on the suspect. Be sure to remain aware of your surroundings, especially at night, and call UTD PD if you need an escort to your car or if you have car issues. If you have any information regarding the case, please call the UTD Police Department at 972-883-2222.
The UT Board of Regents has approved the decision to make ATEC and EMAC a separate school from Arts and Humanities.
Reporter Anwesha Bhattacharjee has more on how this will change the schools.
The UT System Board of Regents approved the creation of a new Arts, Technology and Emerging Communication School at UTD on February 12th. The new school will offer 6 degrees, the BA, MA, MFA and PhD in ATEC, and the BA and MA in EMAC. While students might not see any visible changes right off the bat, the creation of the new school will help both ATEC and EMAC programs grow and raise more funds, said UTD President David Daniel.
Donors like to have confidence in leaders and in administration, and I think putting the stamp of approval as a standalone school just shouts out to prospective supporters, this is a real winner here at the university, and we are fully committed to it.
Students will be asked for their opinion as the two schools brainstorm on ways to develop, said Student Government President Brooke Knutson.
As far as student opinion, I think they will actually have like a focus group of actual ATEC students asking what would you like to see in the future of ATEC, what would you want the new dean to have, like different characteristics and things like that.
Both Daniel and Knutson stressed the need for more facilities and future avenues of growth for arts and humanities. In a press release to UTD TV, Daniel said, quote, "We will now begin the process of getting faculty, staff, and student input on how we can grow arts and humanities and help it reach new heights of success." Unquote. The next few months are expected to be a period of transition, and we'll keep our eyes trained on what some of these changes and developments are in the two schools. This is Anwesha Bhattacharjee for UTD TV.
The new school will open fall 2015 and hope to see UTD continuing making strides towards Tier 1.
The UT System Board of Regents also okayed the formation of the UTD Honors College. The school will include the Collegium 5 program, McDermott Scholars Program, and National Merit Scholars Program, as well as partnerships with various other programs at the university. UT Dallas Honors Program has become its own school. The college will combine all the existing programs and allow for cohesion between events and opportunities for students. Honors College Dean Edward Hartfrom says the time is right for this change and that it solidifies what the university has been achieving for years.
The other thing, other major Tier 1 schools have honors colleges. Freshmen, parents expect this. When they come to the university, they hear you have a program and they say, well, why not a college? Aren't you doing what colleges do? And the funny thing we discovered, we were doing the best of the best honors college work over the last 5 years. Why didn't we call ourselves what we were? The old thing, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, Shouldn't you call it a duck? I think that's what the Honors College enables us to do. Certainly nationwide. I've heard from other people who were excited to hear this is what we were doing because they knew we were a program. They didn't really realize everything that was going on at UT Dallas. It's pretty exciting.
Keeping with the growth and expansion of the university, the Honors College is a step in the direction of Tier 1.
On Wednesday, Anita Sarkeesian talked to students about the portrayal of women in video games and pop culture.
She encourages more positive and equal representation of women in video games. Students share their thoughts on women in the video games and pop culture with UTD TV News.
So as for girls in games, I feel as if there's kind of a strange opinion that goes on, like that we need more females in video games, just like for diversity's sake, which I feel is like a wrong angle to take. I think that if a girl fits as the lead character in a video game, then it should be a girl, and if it's a guy, then it should be a guy.
You could make the case that they're kind of sexualized, but you could also make the case that that's not always necessarily a bad thing. If it's part of, some sort of aesthetic style someone's going for, it could be open to interpretation.
I think there needs to be some more women in the industry, if only just so that people know that we're there and that we have an opinion in the games that are created.
It really kind of comes back to the companies that make them. If you make it, they will come. So I think if there were stronger representation for women in video games, and that's like stronger female characters, less sexualized female characters, then women would be more willing to be gamers and feel less victimized by the system.
Because if women are going to complain about the sexualization of women in the industry, they need to get in there and change it. You can't just say and expect people to change it for you if you're not willing to get in there and get your hands dirty to do that work.
As video games grow in popularity, they'll have to represent the diverse world we live in. The Richardson Ebola Treatment Center that was set up during last year's outbreak is currently being dismantled. The center was never used and will be turned back into a long-term acute care facility. It was one of 35 designated Ebola treatment centers in the U.S.
We head over now to our sports desk where sports anchor Esteban Bustillos gives us a Comet Sports update.
Thanks, Susie. The baseball and softball teams kicked off their seasons over the weekend. The baseball team, which opened up its season in Tucson, Arizona, lost all 4 of its games, 2 to Linfield and 2 to Pacific Lutheran. It plays again tomorrow in Frisco against Whitman. The softball team, on the other hand, got off to a hot start when it beat the University of Dallas twice to open up its season. The team plays again tomorrow in its conference and home opener against Louisiana College. On the basketball side of things are just heating up. The men and women are both competing for a good conference spot in the ASC playoffs. This week, the NCAA just released their regional rankings, and in the Southern region, both teams have placed highly. The women, who are currently only second in the ASC behind UT Tyler, have placed in 5th overall for the Southern region, while the men, who are tied for their 3rd place spot in the ASC, have been ranked as the 7th place team in the South. One player in particular has stood out for the men's squad this year. Rafael Farley, a transfer guard from ACU, who is currently averaging 22 points a game, was named to the D3.com Hoops Team of the Week, as well as being named the ASC Men's Player of the Week. Be sure to stay tuned to UTD TV for all of your sports news. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Esteban.
Be sure to check out UTD TV Sports for more in-depth coverage of all local, regional, and national sports news.
Daily Show host Jon Stewart announced that he's leaving the show later this year. Stewart says that he has no specific plans and a lot of ideas. Comedy Central has already announced that it's looking for a replacement.
NBC managing editor and anchor Brian Williams has been suspended without pay for 6 months after the network found out he lied about his experience in Iraq. Critics has called for him to be fired, saying his viewers would no longer be able to trust him in the same way. Lester Holt will fill in for him during his suspension. Will the nation be able to trust him again? Should NBC bring him back? Tell us what you think. Tweet us at UTDTV_news.
60 Minutes reporter Bob Simon was killed in a cab crash Thursday. Simon's cab was sideswiped by a Mercedes-Benz sedan. The cab driver suffered injuries to his arms and legs, but the driver of the Mercedes was not injured. Police are still investigating the crash. Thanks again for watching UTD TV. For all things news, sports, and entertainment, visit us at www.utdtv.com.
Be sure to join us next week for our Sportscast. Have a great day.